Hello, my dear sleepy friends. Come close now. Settle in. Snuggle up under your blanket. Maybe you have a favorite pillow or a sleepy stuffed animal tucked in beside you. Wherever you are, I'm glad you've come to rest beneath the sleepy tree with me tonight. Can you hear the breeze through the leaves? It's whispering softly, just like always. A lullaby only the forest knows. Let's take a deep breath together in through your nose and out through your mouth. That's it. Let's do one more. In and out. Feel your body get just a little softer. Now, I want you to imagine you're walking along a gentle forest path. It winds and weaves, curving through tall trees and soft, mossy stones. Birds are tucking into their nests, and somewhere nearby, a frog lets out a sleepy croak. You follow the trail until it opens up into a magic little clearing. Right in the middle of it is an ancient tree, tall, wide, and wise. That's the sleepy tree. Its bark is soft and warm like worn leather, and its branches curl over your head like a hug from the forest itself. Go ahead and find your favorite spot beneath it. Let the earth support you. Let the sounds of the forest settle around you like a blanket. Because tonight the tree has another story to share. It's a tale about building things, but not just with wood and sticks. It's about building trust and working together, and what happens when someone tries to do everything all by themselves. And this story, well, it starts with a dam. A great, wobbly, wonderful dam made by the teeth and paws of one very determined little beaver. Now down by the stream, not far from the sleepy tree, something was clattering. Not clattering like a woodpecker or rustling leaves, no. This was a kind of clack, clunk, thud, splash. If you peeked through the brambles, you'd see a furry tail, flat as a pancake, smacking into the mud. And next to that tail, a small mountain of sticks. And next to those sticks, a very busy beaver with wild ideas and a pencil tucked behind one ear. Her name was Briar. Now Briar wasn't just any beaver. She had plans, big ones, blueprints even, drawn on bark with charcoal. She called them her brilliant beaver building bundles. And she carried them around in a soggy satchel that she made herself. "I'm going to build a bridge," she declared one morning, puffing out her chest proudly, as if the stream were a stadium and the squirrels were her fans. "Not just any bridge," she added, "but the best bridge this side of the forest has ever seen." She thumped her tail confidently and dragged a stick twice her size down towards the water's edge. It wasn't for crossing exactly. It was more for impressing. You see, Briar had noticed something. Animals had to leap, hop, paddle, or tiptoe across the stream every day. And she thought, what if there was a grand, glorious bridge, one built by me, a monument of logs and mud and bark, chip, brilliance. So she got to work. And let me tell you, when Briar worked, she worked with flair. She wore a tool belt made of braided grass. She muttered important sounding things like structural integrity and log alignment, even when she wasn't entirely sure what they meant. And if a stick rolled away, she'd point dramatically and shout, "Oh, wood chips!" She was clever, too. Beavers, after all, have those strong front teeth that never stop growing, perfect for nibbling logs into perfect shapes. And their tails? Briar used hers like a wheelbarrow, a paddle, and sometimes a seat when she needed a rest. But despite all that beaver brilliance, something wasn't quite working. The logs weren't staying put. The mud was too squishy in one spot, too dry in another. And once she dropped an entire blueprint into the stream, where it floated away like a lazy leaf. Still, Briar refused to give up. "This is just phase 1, she said, standing proudly beside a tilted pile of twigs. "Every great project starts with a little chaos." But nearby, hidden in the trees, a few forest animals were watching. And they were starting to wonder, maybe Briar could use a little help. By the 3rd day of building, Briar's paws were muddy, her tail was sore, and she had twigs in places twigs definitely didn't belong. The pile of logs she'd stacked so proudly that morning had tumbled again into a crooked mess. One plank stuck straight up like a flagpole. Another bobbed gently in the current like it was waving goodbye. Briar plopped down beside the stream and let out a long, leafy sigh. She looked at her blueprint. It was smudged and soggy. She looked at the pile. It was more pile than bridge. And she looked at her reflection in the water, which stared back with tired little eyes. She whispered, I wanted it to be perfect. You see, Briar didn't just want to build a bridge. She wanted to prove she could, that she didn't need any help, that she was clever enough, strong enough, determined enough, all on her own. But deep inside, a small whisper, quieter than the wind in the leaves, asked, "Why does it feel so hard then?" And just then, crunch. Someone stepped on a pine cone behind her. Briar turned to see a tall, thin raccoon with soot on his paws and an apron full of shiny pebbles. "Bridge troubles?" he asked casually, peering at her blueprint sideways. Briar blinked. "Oh, no. I mean, maybe a little." The raccoon plopped down beside her. "You know," he said, "when I built my pebble oven, I burned 17 pine cakes before I got it right. 17. My tail still smells like charcoal." Briar smiled, just a little. Then came a rustling from the bushes. Out tumbled a chipmunk with twine in her teeth and a pouch of dried berries bouncing on her back. "I heard about the bridge," she squeaked. "Do you need nuts?" "I'm good at nuts. And snacks. I brought snacks." Behind her, a gentle deer stepped into the clearing, followed by a family of frogs, a porcupine, and even 2 sleepy owls who had no business being awake, but didn't want to miss the fun. They all looked at Briar with soft eyes, not judging, not laughing, just offering. Briar's whiskers twitched. She wanted to say, "No, I've got this." But what came out instead was, "Maybe I could use just a little help." And something magical happened. Not the sparkly, glittery kind of magic, but the kind that feels like a knot in your chest loosening. Or the moment the clouds break and let the sun in. Because sometimes the bravest thing a beaver can do is ask for help. The next morning, the clearing beside the stream buzzed with excitement. And not the loud kind of buzz, like a swarm of bees. More like the bustle of paws and claws, tails and tools, voices and laughter, each animal ready to lend a paw. Briar stood at the center with a new plan. Not just her own scribbles this time, but one she'd sketched with her new friends. All gathered around the blueprint the night before, adding doodles, diagrams, and even a few snack stains. "Okay," Briar called out, her voice bright but shaky. "We're going to build a bridge. Together." The chipmunk zipped between logs, tying them with twine as fast as her paws could fly. "Did you know?" she squeaked. "Beavers are amazing engineers. They can build dams so strong they change the path of the rivers. I read that in Forest magazine once." "True," said the raccoon, who was busy balancing pebbles on muddy supports like tiny decorative bricks. "And their front teeth never stop growing, like little wood-chomping tools." Briar smiled. "That's right. We chew on sticks to keep our teeth filed down, see?" She gave a proud nibble on a branch. Chomp, chomp. Then she added it to the growing bridge. The porcupine rolled in a bundle of bark. "I read that beaver dams create wetlands that help other animals live too." Briar blinked. "Really?" "Yep. Frogs, turtles, ducks, even dragonflies. Beavers don't just build for themselves, they build homes for others, even if they don't know it." Briar looked out across the stream, where the logs now formed the beginning of a real shape. Strong, steady, supported by paws from every direction. The frogs plopped into the water and helped guide the floating logs into place. The deer used her gentle strength to press mud between the branches. Even the sleepy owls tied decorative ribbons on top. It was messy. It was noisy. And it was absolutely wonderful. By sunset, the final log was set. The bridge arched just slightly, like a shy smile. It wasn't the tallest or the fanciest, but it was strong. And more than that, it was theirs. Briar stood in the middle, paws on her hips, tail twitching proudly. She looked at her forest friends and said, "This may not have been my bridge, the way I first imagined it." She paused. "But now, it's our bridge, and it's better than anything I could have built alone." And they all cheered, even the owls, who by now were perched upside down from sleepiness, gave a soft hoot of joy. The cheering died down, and everyone admired the bridge in a peaceful silence. Then the chipmunk clapped her tiny paws. "Well, only one thing left to do." Briar tilted her head. "What's that?" "Test it, of course." Before Briar could ask how, the chipmunk darted to one end of the bridge, tossed her berry pouch over her shoulder, and shouted, "Bridge test number 1, the twirly run." She spun in circles as she ran across, arms flailing like a spinning top, squeaking in delight. The bridge held. Next came Raccoon. Test number 2, the sneaky tiptoe. He slunk across with exaggerated, sneaky steps, mumbling, "No one suspects the raccoon." The bridge still held up, and the porcupine waddled up. Test number 3, the spiky shuffle. Everyone held their breath. Porcupines and soft bark weren't the best match. But the bridge didn't even flinch. Finally, all eyes turned to Briar. She grinned. "Okay then, test number 4, the beaver bounce." She trotted up and gave 3 confident hops in the middle of the bridge. Thud, thud, thump. The whole thing gave a satisfying creak, and then held strong. The crowd burst into applause. Beaver tested and forest approved, the deer called. The chipmunk giggled. We should build a slide next. Briar's eyes sparkled. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Everyone laughed. And just like that, the sun dipped low and the world grew soft around them. As the stars began to twinkle through the branches and the soft hoot of Una the owl echoed from above, Briar walked to the center of the bridge one last time. She stood very still and looked out across the stream. The water whispered below her. The trees swayed gently overhead, and the logs beneath her paws, sturdy, worn, and wonderfully imperfect, held her steady. She thought about the first day she had stepped into the clearing, full of big ideas and even bigger determination. She thought about the soggy blueprint, the lopsided pile of logs, and the moment her friends arrived, not to take over, but to stand beside her. And now here she was, not just a builder, but a friend, a teammate, a beaver who knew that strength didn't always mean doing it alone. A breeze stirred her whiskers. Thank you, she whispered to the night. Then Briar turned and padded quietly down the path, following the flicker of fireflies and the slow, steady hum of the forest. As she disappeared into the woods, a soft voice, my voice, floated through the branches like a lullaby. Hello, my sleepy friend. Let's take a little breath together. Take a deep one in through your nose and let it out through your mouth. And let your body settle like a river beneath the bridge. Can you imagine yourself standing beside Briar? The stars above you, the water gently flowing, and the wood planks strong beneath your feet. You helped build that bridge too. You were part of something kind, something brave, something bigger than one little creature alone. Breathe in again, slow, steady. Now let it go. Feel your heart growing soft and full, like warm moss under your paws. Tonight, you rest knowing that your help matters. That teamwork isn't just about getting things done. It's about sharing, trusting, and creating something beautiful together. Let your eyes get heavy now. Let your thoughts float like leaves on the stream. And let the sleepy tree wrap you in its branches as you drift off into gentle dreams. Good night.